I'm doing all that I can. I swear I mean this from the bottom of my soul. We gotta let go of the parts of life that's not in our control. Soon as you accept that, it won't even bother you no more. Some things just ain't your fault. You pray to God and let it go. And I know trauma hurt. Cause I've been through some things that I can't put in rhyming words. And I done felt some pain that I know I did not deserve. I hit rock bottom like, man, I swear it cannot get worse. But I look at life like, man, forget all that, this gotta work. You can't get stuck in depression. I know it's hard, but we gon' push this in another direction. Gotta get up and correct it. Cause there's still a reason that you still breathing. You gotta know it's gonna be okay. I promise. Keep your head up, I understand. You trying. So I've been there, yeah, I understand. You feel like what the fuck is next? I'm doing all that I can. I'm still alive. But what the fuck is next?
Hello, love bugs. Welcome to Emotions USA, the FAFO season. In today's video, we have a marathon of emotions, and I promise you, some will make you feel bad, some will make you laugh, but whatever the case may be, we are only viewing these clips because it's important to know what our fellow citizens in other regions of the United States are thinking, feeling, going through. Because I don't believe that media coverage is honest with us about anything. So that's why a lot of us YouTubers take it upon ourselves to bring you all pieces of information that we feel may be pertinent to our survival. Now we're going to watch these clips. And I don't know what you do when y'all listen to people say they have regret. I just don't know if I can honestly believe that they feel regret. See, when we adults make decisions, we are supposed to weigh out the pros and the cons beforehand. But as we see every day, something new is going on. Some new pain is being unleashed. And all we can do is pray. And y'all who don't like to mix with people different from y'all, you need to get it together. You're not going to survive this by yourselves. If you're not paying attention, our survival, that includes you, you Aura, our survival depends on us becoming a unit, because they don't think we have the will or the integrity, the maturity to do it. I beg to differ. Put your egos aside, because pride will always come before the fall. Let's watch these clips. Let me know what you think. If you know any Trump supporters personally, please encourage them to get out there and protest and make sure that they're doing the best that they can to fix the choice that they made that we're all now stuck with. So let's get started.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
Today I found out that I lost my job. Ever since Donald Trump became president, he was making everyone lose their jobs. And today, I found out it was me. I was one of the thousands and thousands of people who lost their jobs. I was doing a study, a federal granted job. I was doing a study for wheels. Yes, wheels. If, in fact, the wheels on the bus go round and round, and we almost had an answer, but my federal funds were cut, and we'll never know. What I'm going to do is try to post for that other job. It's still out there posted. It's a study of fish and aquatic life, and if fish actually shit in the water, that seems like a good study and a good job, and we'll see. I'm going to go and apply for it.
I'm seeing a trend of Trump supporters on this app who are coming on here and saying that they regret their vote, that they wish they could take it back. They're seeing all of the damage that's being done. They're seeing this unelected fascist taking a sledgehammer to the foundations of our government and our traditions and our way of life. And the fact that you don't even know which of the two of them I'm referring to means that you know I'm right. And these Trump voters are saying they regret their vote. And they're saying they wish they could take it back. And boy, howdy, they're going to go ahead and vote blue in the next election. And let me just go ahead and say to all of those Trump supporters who regret their vote, a heartfelt message from my full chest. Fuck you. Let me say it again so that it's unambiguous and clear. Fuck you. You can't plead ignorance. Not anymore. Not after his first term. Not after Project 2025. Not after him telling you all the things he was going to do. You didn't even need to listen to us. You just needed to listen to him. All the things he said he was going to do, he is now doing them. The evidence was out there. You were forewarned. And now you're regretting your vote. Now you're looking back with regret and saying you wanted to take back your vote. Fuck you! It is too late. And if we even have midterms, much less another presidential election, I will be really surprised. You know where else they have presidential elections? Fucking Russia. And do you know what happens? Putin just happens to be such a popular candidate that he wins like 95% of the vote. If you think we're ever going to have another free and fair election in this country again with that goddamn fascist in charge, you are fucking kidding yourself. I'm happy that you saw the light. And I'm all about the spirit of community building and coming together and working as a team to try to defeat these people, because that's the only way that it's ever going to happen. Historically, anytime any country has turned to fascism, it's been up to the United States to step in and help them change course. Nobody's coming for us, so we're the only ones who are going to be able to save ourselves. And we have to do this from inside. But in the meantime, I regret my Trump vote. Fuck you. It is too late. The time for reflection was in fucking November. This is all on you, and you are not forgiven. However, if you actually put your money where your mouth is, and put your back into it, and help us take these assholes down, maybe you won't be ostracized, but you will not be fucking forgiven.
And you people still don't get it. You don't get it. I voted for Donald Trump, black Trump supporter, voted for Donald Trump to do what he's doing. Did you expect Donald Trump to do this? Not all this. Oh, it feels so good. That's how I feel. Do you like Elon Musk? Yes. Well, yes. Yes, I do. I'm watching Democrats tell me, I thought Republicans like small government. Well, that didn't work, so we need Elon. That's why we got Elon. To help shrink it. Look what he's doing for the USAID. They're dropping their workforce from 10,000 to 300. Black History Moment. Black History Moment. Every last black that's on television seem to be all sucking off the Democrat teeth. All of them give the same talking point, the same concerns, all Democrat approved. All of you Democrat approved. Well, Donald Trump, he really ain't helping black people. He really ain't helping black people. You brag one moment black people didn't support Donald Trump. So why are you upset Donald Trump ain't supporting black folk? You can't have it both ways, but he is. What Donald Trump is doing, he's eliminating are you a DEI hire or are you a hire? Yes, and people have a right to say that. I'm enjoying every single bit of this. Friday, I'm loving it. Trump kicking butt. You don't like it? Guess what? You didn't vote for Trump. We're out here protesting. We're protesting those. Did you vote for Donald Trump? No. So why am I surprised that you out here protesting Trump? You didn't vote for him. So of course you're not going to like it. But as for people like me, I'm loving it. Enjoy your Friday.
Are you excited for no tax on tips, overtime, or Social Security? Well, get fucked, because it's not happening. Republicans have abandoned those ideas, and let me explain to you why they're never coming back. Republicans are currently drafting a budget that includes $4.5 trillion in tax cuts over the next 10 years. That's $4.5 trillion more than we currently spend. Now, as you can see, based on last year's budget, we currently spend nearly $2 trillion more than we make. So their budget would just make this problem worse. Now, Republicans are trying to solve that issue by having big spending cuts in this budget, but there are three gigantic problems with their plans. Problem number one is that their spending cuts only cover 1/3 of the cost at $1.5 trillion. Problem two is that those cuts include things like Medicaid and Medicare and food stamps, things that millions of Americans rely on every single day to survive. And problem number three is that extending Donald Trump's 2017 tax cuts, which is what this budget is doing, would really only benefit wealthy people, as you can see here. If you make less than $100,000 a year, you will see less than $1,000 in benefit from this law. But if you're rich as fuck, you'll make a lot of money. But these are the folks that voted for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, because it affects them directly. And they got all excited about these plans, but cue the disappointment, because here it comes. This budget includes exactly zero of those promises, because it would balloon the cost of his plan up to potentially $11 trillion. It turns out those plans are so expensive, Republicans just can't find a way to make it work. Turns out Trump's campaign promises were just him making shit up on the fly with no actual plan to be able to do it. And now, when Republicans are tasked with the actual job of figuring out if it's possible, they realize, fuck, it's not. So if you voted for Donald Trump for any of these promises, well, get fucked, because it's not gonna happen. Normally I'd say surprise, but it's not a surprise, because I said it the entire fucking election, so I'll just say, told you.
So President Trump voted for himself in Mar-a-Lago, and then he was asked, what will you do if you lose? Will you tell your people not to get violent? And he goes, they're not violent. They're great people. I don't have to tell them anything. He said, but y'all are violent because you're the ones that are bringing it up. And then, of course, CNN had to do their little spin about J6. See, that's all they got, y'all, is J6, because they can't say any other time has anyone burned, looted, blew up police stations, done any of the things that these protesters did in 2020. They can't. So J6 is their go-to. It's their default. It's their fall guy. Always about J6, because that's the only thing that hard-working conservative Republicans could ever be associated with. Because we just don't go out. We're usually working while they're out causing mischief. We actually have jobs to go to. So I'm really glad he answered it that way, because, you know, J6 will be infamous to them. It's always going to overshadow any kind of damage that they do. Nobody even talked about the looting that happened in LA after the Dodgers won the World Series and people stealing tennis shoes and all that shit. I mean, you might as well just sit it out on the curb and let them get it out of their system.
The other day, Donald Trump and Republicans put out their new tax bill that focuses on Donald Trump's priorities. And what do you know? It's a big handout to the ultra-wealthy in this country. The Republican-controlled House Budget Committee voted along party lines to advance a massive budget blueprint to slash taxes and spending by trillions of dollars. They've sent the full budget resolution to the House, and they've instructed committees to craft a massive package to pass Donald Trump's agenda. The budget calls for up to $4.5 trillion in new deficits through tax cuts, which Republicans plan to use to extend Donald Trump's 2017 tax law that is expiring. This budget calls for $4.5 trillion in new deficits through tax cuts, which Republicans plan to use to extend Donald Trump's 2017 tax law, which cut taxes for the ultra-wealthy, and most of the benefits went to the top 1%. But here's the main thing Republicans don't want you to know about this budget resolution. It calls for $1.5 trillion in spending cuts with an additional caveat. The House package has to include $2 trillion in cuts to the mandatory part of federal spending, which covers programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and food benefits. Now, Democrats tried to put forward amendments to make sure that these programs weren't targeted, and Republicans rejected all of them. So remember when Republicans told you that they weren't going after these crucial programs that millions of Americans rely on? Yeah, they totally lied. This is Donald Trump's priority right now: tax cuts for the wealthy, cutting programs for middle-income Americans. Who could have seen this coming? If TikTok ever gets banned, my Instagram, my YouTube, and my Substack are linked in my bio. That's where I'm going to be.
You are too close-minded since you won't date someone just because they voted for Trump. That is what my client said to me. So my client and I are having a conversation, and she is still adamant that this man that she wants to set me up with would be perfect for me, and we would be a perfect couple if I could just get over this one little thing. And I said, it's not a little thing. It's a huge thing. It's a deal breaker for me. Absolutely. And she just kept telling me that I was being too close-minded. Too close-minded. And I said, absolutely not. I'm not being close-minded because it's a deal breaker. He voted for a rapist, which tells me that he is willing to bend on morals and values that I hold dear. And he's willing to allow someone to break the law and assault people because it will still benefit him in some way. So he's willing to vote for a rapist because he's still going to financially benefit from the taxes that Trump has. I don't want to be around someone like that. It tells me I'm not safe around that person because that's not a deal breaker for him. My daughters aren't safe around that person because that's not a deal breaker for him. I said it's not being closed-minded to have a boundary that anyone who's willing to compromise morals and values and anyone who's willing to accept sexual assault on women, racism, misogyny, homophobia, all of these things. If someone's willing to accept those things from a person because they're going to benefit in some way, I don't want to be around those people. They're not safe. I'm not safe around them. Neither are my kids. So I guess I'll be a close-minded motherfucker because I am not entertaining or dating anyone who voted for Trump.
I mean, 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who are like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now.
So ever since Trump got elected, my rights have been taken away from me, and it just keeps going. And I think I'm going to divorce my husband because he keeps taking my rights